or when my dad died and my brother died, and I begged them. I said, I have a family. I need you to tell the world that this stuff didn't happen. And I was waiting in my heart thinking somebody will come to me one day and help me. But they didn't.
When we knew that that was going to happen, because so much has been said, you know, back and forth between different people.
Hold on to your seats, folks, because it seems like the never-ending drama saga between the one and only Will Smith and his former Fresh Prince co-star Janet Hubert is serving up a fresh batch of piping hot gossip. Our ears are still ringing from Tatyana Ali, the brilliant actress who played Will's cousin Ashley Banks on the iconic Fresh Prince series, spilling the tea on the backstage turmoil. So what's the buzz? Tatyana Ali dished out some jaw-dropping revelations about just how intense things got between Will and Janet. According to Tatyana, Will's behavior towards Janet went beyond just a tiff. It was downright nasty. Rumor has it that he may have even thrown a curveball into Janet's career, leading some to suspect a bit of sabotage in the mix. Now, rewind a bit. We all remember when Janet Hubert publicly labeled Will an egomaniac, right? But here's the twist. Even after Will issued a seemingly heartfelt apology to Janet during a 2020 episode of Red Table Talk, the rumor mill is churning out some wild tales. Whispers suggest that this apology might have been more of a calculated PR stunt than a genuine reconciliation. Hold your gasps, because it gets juicier. There's a murmur that Will strategically used the apology episode to throw the spotlight on himself and maybe even give a boost to his and his wife's show. Talk about a plot twist. Now, enter Tatyana Ali, the insider we've all been waiting for. She's not holding back, revealing just how badly Janet Hubert was treated by none other than the Fresh Prince himself. But here's the burning question. Did Tatyana personally witness the sparks flying between Will and Janet? And was Will's apology just a well-timed move in the PR chess game? Buckle up, gossip enthusiasts, because this tale is unfolding, and we're all ears for the next chapter in this Hollywood roller coaster ride.
And I understand you were able to move forward, but you know those words, calling a black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death.
The behind-the-scenes saga between Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Vivian from the beloved 90s sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Will Smith has been no secret. This infamous feud has lingered for almost 3 decades. Despite Will's claim that the feud ended with his apology to Janet in 2020, recent developments suggest there's more to this story than initially met the eye. Allegedly, both Will and his wife Jada still harbor some strong feelings against Janet. This stems from Janet's public exposure of what she perceives as their narcissistic behavior. Now, let's rewind a bit for context. Janet Hubert portrayed Aunt Viv for the first 3 seasons of The Fresh Prince. However, when Season 4 hit screens in September 1993, fans were in for a shock as Daphne Maxwell Reid had taken over the role. At the time, there was no clear explanation for this sudden change, leaving fans to speculate about so-called creative differences. The plot thickened when Will Smith publicly criticized Janet, suggesting that her allegedly big ego led to her departure in 1993. Will went on an Atlanta radio show claiming that Janet wanted the show to revolve around her character. He boldly stated Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show. According to him, Janet had been discontent all along. However, Janet refuted this narrative when Will finally issued an apology in 2020. In the Hollywood landscape, labeling someone as mad and difficult, especially a black woman, can be detrimental. Janet argued that Will's narrative was fabricated because she wasn't a fan of his problematic humor. She disclosed that her decision to leave the show was influenced by producers significantly reducing her role and presenting her with a demeaning deal involving only 10 weeks of work and restrictions on working elsewhere. The complexities of this long-standing feud continue to unfold, revealing a tale of behind-the-scenes challenges and misinterpretations. Surviving just 10 weeks of work was an impossible feat for Janet, especially considering she was the primary breadwinner for her household, providing for her newborn son, and her now ex-husband James Whitten, who was also abusive, added to the financial strain. Despite her challenging circumstances, Janet had to decline the offer presented by the producers, which she later revealed was a setup to force her out and shift blame onto her supposed attitude. attitude. At the time, Janet's role as Aunt Viv made her beloved by the audience, leaving many puzzled about why the producers would want her gone. The root cause, as Janet disclosed, was Will Smith himself. Apparently, Will's inflated ego became a hindrance, particularly when Janet didn't laugh at his jokes between scenes. Will needed the spotlight on him at all times, and his colorist jokes, mocking dark-skinned women, were a breaking point for Janet. As a Juilliard-trained actress, Janet preferred to focus on her craft, practicing lines and preparing for scenes, leading to a clash of priorities. The situation escalated when Will, feeling personally slighted, began bad-mouthing Janet. This rift extended to other cast members, with Alfonso Ribeiro, who played Carlton Banks, dissing Janet during a stand-up show in 2009. Will further fueled the discord by sharing a Fresh Prince reunion photo without Janet, deepening the divide. Fast forward to 2016. And Janet didn't shy away from calling out both Will and Jada. When Jada attempted to rally black actors to boycott the Oscars, Janet saw through the motives, asserting that the real reason was Will's non-nomination for the movie Concussion. In a video, Janet criticized Jada for being out of touch with the pressing issues in the world, emphasizing that people were dealing with real struggles like hunger, bills, and violence. Janet didn't stop there. She accused Will and Jada of hypocrisy, highlighting their benefit from the same system they were urging others to boycott. She also exposed Will for lacking solidarity during their time on The Fresh Prince.
I want to say something about Jada Pinkett Smith asking other actors, black actors and actresses, to boycott the Oscars. First of all, Miss Thing, does your man not have a mouth of his own with which to speak?
During the earlier times, Will Smith remained silent about Janet's comments. However, fast forward to 2020, and he seemingly had a change of heart, deciding it was time to offer an apology. Many people found the timing suspicious, speculating that Will was engaging in damage control for Jada, especially after the entanglement situation. The apology conveniently painted Will in a positive light, coinciding with the organization of a new Fresh Prince reunion, this time including Janet. Their conversation unfolded on a special episode of Red Table Talk, where Janet opened up about the profound impact of Will's actions on her life. She disclosed the significant losses she endured, from her house to her reputation, all stripped away by hurtful words. The repercussions extended beyond personal losses. Janet faced hateful messages on social media, with someone even physically hurting her son using bad language. In response, Will apologized, attributing his past actions to youth and a lack of understanding about the power of words. However, some fans questioned the sincerity of Will's apology. They highlighted the nearly 30 years of public gaslighting that Janet endured and pointed out that Will seemed to capitalize on her pain and suffering to promote yet another Fresh Prince reunion. Adding to the complexity of the situation, Janet found herself lacking support from cast members during this entire ordeal. Most either remained silent or aligned with Will's narrative about Janet being difficult. It wasn't until Tatyana Ali, a fellow cast member, stepped forward in a recent interview, shedding light on the isolation Janet experienced even during their time on the set of Fresh Prince.
There was tension, and I knew that. I was a kid and I knew that. So to see, and I was apprehensive when we knew that was going to happen, because so much has been said, back and forth between different people. Not just even between Will and Janet, but between other people too.
Fans are expressing that Will's apology to Janet came too late and falls short, considering his influential status. Many believe that given his star power, Will should have taken more substantial actions to assist Janet in reclaiming her career. One fan even commented, "Will Smith is being Will Smith, the narcissistic egomaniac. I miss the real Aunt Viv. I stopped watching it as she was one of my favorite aunt disciplinarians. She was very good in that role. I sincerely hope that she can still make it. So very sad of what had happened to her because of Will Smith's bad behavior." Another fan replied, "He ruined her career by saying she was difficult. He plays the game and was a young man. The arrogance. When a woman isn't sweet, then she's a wicked witch. And it's cold. He punched another black man on stage, a room that is very hard to get into, and embarrassed another man on a world stage. He is embarrassing, and people said this about him, but it was the 90s, and we in retrospect can see how horrible we were back then and what was excused. The sentiment among fans suggests lingering skepticism regarding the sincerity of Will's apology and whether genuine change has occurred within him. Some argue that the narrative he perpetuated about Janet being difficult, angry, and crazy reflects broader issues related to the treatment of black women, particularly those with darker skin tones. The call for Will to financially compensate Janet for the harm caused to her career is prevalent among fans, echoing a sentiment of accountability and restitution. But what do you think about this? Please leave your comments below. And as we wait for more updates, be sure to check out our upcoming videos for more juicy gossip.